Meeting for May 5th, and we're going to begin tonight with our invocation by Council Member Mr. Connors. If you would please rise and join us in prayer.
Dear Father, thank you for the people that come out to our city council meetings, Lord. Watch over and guide the citizens within the city of St. Mary's. Continue to guide the council members that are on the council and our mayor to be able to make the best decisions we possibly can for the city of St. Mary's. Thank you, Lord, for all the people that work so diligently with the city of St. Mary's, making it what it is. We couldn't do without them. In God's name I pray, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And we'll now have our roll call.
Yes, sir. Councilman Jones, post 1.
Here.
Councilman Connor, post 2.
Here.
Councilman Ingram, post 3.
Here.
Councilmember Nascimento, post 4.
Here.
Councilman Rassi, post 5.
Here.
Councilman Rakeen, post 6.
Present.
Mayor Lockhart.
I'm here, madam.
Sir, we have a quorum.
Thank you. And for the record, a unanimous vote is a vote of 6.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we had a little bit of email trouble, I believe, over the weekend, potentially, and so minutes might not have gotten to everyone, so we've got to entertain a motion to table the minutes for approval till the next city council meeting on the 19th.
So moved. Second.
A motion by Mr. Ingram and a second by Mr. Rassi. Any other discussion? And I've been reminded to ask you to please vote not only verbally, but also with a show of hands. All those in favor?
Aye.
And that's unanimous, madam.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. So our first presentation is a proclamation. And let's see if I can read this. I can read this one. So the first one is a proclamation for Professional Municipal Clerks Week. The office of the whereas the office of the Professional Municipal Clerks is a time-honored and vital part of local government which exists throughout the world. The municipal clerk's profession is one of the oldest among public servants, which traces back to biblical times, and whereas municipal clerks provide a professional link between citizens, local governing bodies, and departments of government, professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all, and whereas municipal clerks serve as the information center on functions of local government and community, they continually strive to improve administration of the affairs in the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education, programs, seminars, workshops, and annual meetings of their state and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize accomplishments of municipal clerks as they celebrate the 56th anniversary of Professional Municipal Clerk Week. Now therefore I, Gregory Lockhart, Mayor of St. Mary's, Georgia, do hereby proclaim the week of May 4th to May 10th, 2025 as Professional Municipal Clerk Week. We further extend appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Deborah Walker Reed, and all professional municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand this 5th day of May in the year of our Lord, 2025. And thank you, Ms. Walker Reed.
Yes, thank you.
Our second proclamation is for National Public Works Week. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to the sustainable and resilient communities and to public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the city of St. Mary's, Georgia, and whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essentials for our citizens, and whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in the city of St. Mary's, Georgia, to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association, Canadian Public Works Association, be it now resolved, I, Gregory Lockhart, Mayor of the City of St. Mary's, do hereby designate the week of May 18th through 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and advancing quality of life for all. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city to be affixed. Today, May 5th. All right, so thank you very much to our public works employees. Yeah, I probably need a little water there. Sorry. Thank you to our public works employees and all they do here in our city. A lot of times it goes unnoticed, the work that both our clerk and our public works employees do behind the scenes to make the city run effectively and efficiently. We have board appointments. New board, we have one vacant seat for the Tax Allocation District Number 3 Advisory Board. We have a board appointment, term expiration for Camden County Board of Education, Sex Education Instructional Review Committee. And we have a hospital authority, Patricia Stevens' term is expiring, and we do have a application from Miss Judy Heim, and if anybody would want to make a motion?
So move.
That was Artie. Mr. Jones, and is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Rassi. Is there any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any, that was unanimous. Okay, thank you. Welcome to the Hospital Authority, Ms. Heim. And thank you for your willingness to serve there, so. And we also have the St. Mary's Library Board, term expiration from Denise Proctor's position. So if you have any interest in serving on any of these boards or authorities, we certainly appreciate your willingness to put in an application and serve. Thank you. And so now we are to the finance report. Ms. Marcia Cleakin, our finance director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your council packet, you will find an overview of the city's revenue and expenditures through March the 31st, 2025, which is the 9th month of the fiscal year FY25. All the reports are on a cash basis. Are there any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I also want to mention that we had a very productive and long day last Monday with the finance department and our city manager as we worked on our city budget, and we hope to have a budget for y'all to review here in the next couple of weeks. So, Mr. Horton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council, citizens. Starting off the manager's report in Public Works, the LMIG 2025 has been advertised, which is the southern portion of Mission Trace Drive. The bid opening is June the 5th. The City Hall bid opening is May 29th. The Exit 1 Fire Station bid opening June the 3rd. The bid opening, we have bid openings this week for the emergency generators, which is a part of the GEMA grant. The mowing bid for Charlie Smith Senior Highway, Colerain Road, and Diller Street. Moving ahead, in our grants, the Community Development Plan first application is due the 15th of this month. The Safe Streets for All Safety Action Planning grant is due the 26th of June. The MRR Library Roof Grant application is due working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers on potential funding for the following projects: the St. Mary Street flood mitigation, Fire Station 2 bunk room and kitchen, Fire Station 2 training facility, the Aquatic Training Center swimming pool at the Aquatic Center, and the St. Mary's Road resurfacing. In IT, they're working through fixing equipment and upgrades as possible this week. They're doing cybersecurity certificate training, managing and coordinating vendors for all city projects. The IT roadmap is in the final planning is underway. Looking into server replacements for 2027. Going to start replacing computers at PD as they arrive, and working on Windows 11 upgrade project with NEOS. In our finance department, there will be a council workshop for the FY26 budget on May the 12th at 5:30 p.m. Again, there will be a council workshop for the FY26 budget on May 12th beginning at 5:30 p.m. A public hearing will be for the 26 budget will be held on May 19th beginning at 5:30. So please mark that on your calendars, council. Our police department, during the month of April, police department answered 3,399 calls for service. The police department conducted 1,164 security checks. There were 46 arrests, which included 26 narcotic cases, 4 DUIs. The police department completed 110 case reports, 13 accident reports. The police department conducted 493 traffic stops, issuing 182 citations. There are currently 2 certified officers in the crossover phase for the employment process. In our fire department, for April, total calls were 243. Average response times 3 minutes, 4 seconds. Average response time for EMS is 4 minutes, 9 seconds. They conducted 70 fire inspections. The department has received a $750 donation from the National Home Sprinkler Association to build a sprinkler prop for education purposes. The building department, they've had 445 inspections, 58 E&S inspections, issued 37 certificate of occupancies. And our community development department has transitioned all planning commission, historic preservation commission, and site development plan applications to cloud permit. Bringing the planning module of the cloud permit live marks the final piece of the transition is city permitting to fully digital. Over the next month, staff will be working with applicants to help with the transition. That is one of our master plan items that we're being able to check off. And I believe that concludes my report for this evening. Mayor, council. Any questions?
Thank you.
Any questions from Mr. Hart?
I do have a question about the ditch maintenance. It says Crooked River Plantation ditch maintenance and outfall area maintenance was estimated to be completed by the end of April. So how are we doing on that?
It's completed.
Including the outfall? Okay. So, would you come to the mic, please? So the question was, is Crooked River, including the outfall area, completed?
As far as I know,
Okay.
they have moved on to they're moving on to the Somerset area and Shadow Lawn.
Okay, so the only remaining issue there is the privately owned
Culverts.
driveways that are on our right-of-way, the culverts,
Correct.
and clearing those. So have we made any progress with solving that?
That was one of the
Problem.
things that we talked about during the budget session, about trying to have a work session on to workshop not only preferred methodology of cleaning out, but also
But the
any
legal
legal
issues.
issues and cost, if required, if we're going to be providing the service, whether or not we need to have any kind of fees for that, or, so we'll.
So we can get that scheduled.
Workshop scheduled.
Yeah, great. Thank you very
We're just
much.
trying to get the budget lined out.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Horton. So we will now go with the specifying the consent agenda. So we have old business, ordinance amendment, zoning planned development district, chapter 110, section 110-80, item A. Consent or discuss?
We did kind of discuss it last meeting. Unless anyone wants to discuss it, I'll say I consent the item.
I'm good with that.
Consent.
Consent. Okay.
Consent.
Okay, we also have under old business the amendment, chapter 86 for subdivisions.
Consent.
Consent.
Under new business, we have the St. Mary's Park Commerce interest signs. We will need to discuss that because we have a choice to make there.
Yes, sir. Discuss.
Discuss.
Approval of revised, item B, approval of revised easement agreements with Radiant St. Mary's LLC.
Discuss.
Discuss?
Yeah.
It's already been approved, hasn't it?
Item C, St. Mary's Intercoastal Gateway Marina seasonal dock space for Camden County residents.
Consent.
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 Item D, rezoning request for tax parcel 135F004B from R3, which is medium and high density multifamily residential.
Consent.
Consent.
Item E, minor subdivision, final plat request for tax parcel 160C060, Paula and Glenn Sorry.
Consent.
Consent.
Item F, minor subdivision, final plat request for tax parcel 148A053.
Consent.
Consent.
Item G, minor subdivision, final plat request for tax parcel 148A031.
Consent.
Item H, rezoning request for 118 Second Street from R1 Single Family to R2.
Consent.
Consent.
I think it involves me. Can we table that for about 2 months?
Table it.
You can talk about that during our public
Okay.
hearing
I
session.
didn't know when. Sorry.
Item I, minor subdivision, final plat request for tax parcel 135E020A.
Consent.
Consent.
Item J, Mission Trace Culvert Replacement Contract.
Consent.
Discuss.
Yes, discuss.
Item K, Budget Ordinance Amendment, FY 2025 General Fund Donation Received for Tree Board.
Consent.
Consent.
And item L, Georgia Municipal Association District 12 Officer Election.
Consent.
Consent.
All right, so to clarify and go down the list, the items that will be consented, if we don't hear something to change our minds during public comments, are items on old business, items A and B. Under new business, items C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, and L. So with that, we will open up the microphone to public comment, and just a reminder, as what we're doing, you can speak about things that are on agenda or not on agenda, 5-minute limit, please, and go from there.
Tom Canning, 410 Point Peter Place. To respect the 5-minute limit, I've got a script that I'm going to read. It's, over the years, I've asked council for specific action regarding the stormwater management utility. My latest email to a few council members was sent on 29 April. I'm going to read the basic content of the email. As a reminder, this is an excerpt from this reference. Quote, Be it, and it is hereby ordered by the mayor and council of the city of St. Mary's this 20th day of September 2021, that Chapter 80 of the St. Mary's Code of Ordinances is hereby amended to add the following pertaining to the establishment of stormwater utility, the stormwater utility user fee rate structure, and the procedure in which to establish the stormwater user fee billing rate. Again, that's 2021. For your convenience, that reference is in the section 80-4 in the ordinance. Weeks ago, during the fiscal year 2026 budget discussions, yet to be adjusted and proposed, the subject of stormwater utility was not directly discussed and budgeted. At best, staff and council nibbled around the edges discussing dedicated workers and specialized equipment for culverts, ditches, under driveway, drainage pipes, property owner, and city responsibilities, etc. All relying on the general fund for the related costs. 2 weeks ago, at the city council meeting, the public attendees had clearly and emotionally made clear their concerns and dissatisfaction with city performance regarding stormwater management, drainage, ditches, culverts, etc. Without substantiation, I am of the opinion that the barrier for the city to fully engage this ordinance may be a schedule of stormwater utility user fee charges based primarily on the amount of impervious services located on each improved property is the most appropriate and equitable means. Now that's a quote out of the ordinance. In this case, this challenge will never be easier. Let's bite the bullet and define specifics and implement now. As always, with first-hand experience and feedback, future judicious adjustments can be made. Put it in place now. If you need to make adjustments, as you always do, review it and make your adjustments. I respectfully suggest that the utility ordinance should not continue to be ignored. It is past time to include the significant city utility responsibility in this coming and future city budgets. Suggesting that there is insufficient time to include this in this coming year's budget and billing schedule should not stand. No matter what the council decides, there will be complaints from the public in general and probably more specifically from business owners, churches, etc. The pain will be worth the gain. Doing the right thing is rarely easy. I look forward to any and all actions and responses. The other item I have, this email, and hopefully most of you recognize these comments that I've provided. On the 2nd of May, I sent this email to a few council members. Attached for your info, this is to follow up on emails and brief discussions. Note, no lease fee for 10 years and approved by consent. That was the status of the contract with the sub-museum. The purpose of this email is to suggest that the Submarine Museum, a nonprofit organization that raises operating funds, should pay a monthly fee to use the 9,000 square feet of city property in prime midtown locations funded by city tax dollars. I request that City Council publicly justify this continuation of this tax burden. Thank you.
Good evening, Robert Muller, 509 Westgate Circle. Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff. I was debating on coming in tonight because it didn't seem like any kind of barn burner topics on here, a lot of that, but I'm glad as the ditch man of Crooked River, yes, there has been digging, especially from the outfall ditch at the southeastern corner of the subdivision by the Dollar General. That's the one that feeds my circle all the way down to that canal, so north side of Winding Road. But the culverts kind of it's a moot point if culverts don't flow. Stormwater utility, those comments, yes, I think we should implement it. I'm always about kind of tying your guys' hands with the money for a purpose. However, I do recall that there was carve-outs where people could put retention ponds, or, they can kind of reduce their bill if they have the room and all that. I think everybody should just have either a flat fee or they're not able to sidestep those fees. Now on to, I guess, some positive things. I have some kudos. Mrs. Stein, Mr. McMahon of your office, prompt. I got an answer about tree trimming in a commercial district, so I appreciate that. Also, Councilwoman Keene, I appreciate your candid phone call about the PSA. And then on to a topic, Mark Walters, I think the name is, LA Dodgers man, as everybody says. Everybody's mad at him. Why aren't we mad at the people selling? I guess it's more for the people, my fellow residents. Why are you mad at him? He's just got money. He's not sending people that look like Councilman Nascimento with a flat cap and a lead pipe to force them to pay up. So, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, don't take my kneecap. Anyway, so, hey, you got to spice it up, man. And then, quick question, I understand the rules. Agenda H, that was that affordable housing project. I don't recall, did the city move forward? I took it that we said no to that, but the one out on Colerain, near Whiting, but, which I hope we said no, because to me, I always laugh, what exactly is affordable housing? How big is affordable housing? That target seems to move, and yeah, maybe we need a moratorium about that. And then the last meeting, I think it was Gamble, gentleman with the vest, spoke about a 94-year-old with a tree in the ditch. I'd like to know, was that the first time that was brought up to city staff, that there was a tree in the ditch? Seems like that tree's been there a long time. And then I do have a question for Councilman Jones. Is that the same tree that you mentioned in North River back in January after the swearing-in ceremony? If you had the pictures then, did you send it to city staff? And is it more city staff's not taking actions 3 months later to remove a tree, or did it not reach the staff? Thank you.
Bert Seals, 816 Riverview Drive. I got me an hourglass this time around. A 5-minute glass, like 5 minute, because I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get my 5 minutes in, And I figure I need to kind of put it out. Don't worry, but I'm gonna put it on up there so you can see it. You can see it, right?
But you gotta turn it upside down.
I know, but I'm not yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm still talking.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get my 5 minutes in. All right, I gave you a name and everything's so good. We gonna turn it upside down. I sent some information to the Citizen Input Portal, and that was on the Tuesday, the 29th of May. April, sorry, and well, I haven't really heard anything back, because while I was speaking, and when I got to say that my time was up, I wasn't able to get my information, and so what I did was I went to the Citizen Input Portal, and I put it in there, and according to Congressman Keene, and I don't know if she got it, but I sent it through, and everybody should have gotten it, and it's called the Citizen Input Portal. So it should be in there waiting for you guys, but no response. Because I figured that maybe the city manager would have said something, but I can't figure, or maybe you, or did you get it?
I don't want to use your...
Yeah, please. I want to, you guys going to speak about the culvert replacement. So I'm going to leave it alone, because since you guys are going to discuss it, because I'm looking at the prices, the quotes, very, very, very interesting. So I want to get that out there. One of the things I want to talk about is, we get a water bill. And we look at, we have water 2, sewer 2, garbage 2. And I'm like, what's going on here? It's a lot of money that we are collecting from the citizens. And I'm going back into the solid waste fund, for the finance people. We are $405,801 in a deficit, a shortfall on that. The available cash balance was $294,667. So I'm kind of lost with that. Of course, the aquatic center, we talked about that, and 162.151, and the St. Mary's Marina, 25,000. I can bear that. Yeah, we're still working on that. But the aquatic center, we need to think about that. And one of the things that I spoke about was the flags. So are you going to speak on that? The flags, why were the flags removed from 2603 Osborne Street in front of the new City Hall? So I've been talking about that a couple times. So I was asking that, and I put it in the portal. So we talked about one of the things the palmetto tree, still scratched on the truck. It's on City Smith Drive. And I said it needs to be either removed or trimmed back further. That's on right when the new City Hall will be. And one of the things I'm gonna we talked about the ferries. I'm not gonna get there no more because I figure that's gonna be attended to. Just only thing I want to see is don't use, as far as I'm concerned, the taxpayers' money. I don't care whatever they get, but don't use the taxpayers' money for any kind of incentive. And the Taste of Camden, I always go to those things. It was well received by me and my guests, but apparently it was not fully attended because my recommendation is that we do not have the Taste of Camden at the same time of the annual Woodbine Crawfish Festival. Everybody is using that Crawfish Festival for barbecues, family reunions, so you're competing with that. And so let everybody come on to the Taste of Camden for food. And so I think that's my recommendation. I think that was something that I want to kind of throw it out there. And outside of that, since I got some of it in, but I still want, there's things that I asked on the portal, I still would like to know. Boom.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. Thanks.
Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
may I respond just a couple of?
Sure.
Just for everybody's information, we found out earlier today, like around lunchtime, that for some reason something's happened to our citizens portal and our messages aren't coming through. So if you will send it directly to me, and I'll make sure that council gets it as well. But we apologize for that. It's happening something on the website side of it. I'll get it from you.
All right.
I'll get it from you. I just wanted to apologize for that.
All right, thank you.
Sir. Okay.
Larry White, 102 Sylvia's Court. Good evening, Mayor and Council, City Manager, Assistant City Manager. I looked up at the dice up here, and I've been coming to city councils for so long that the only one here that's been maybe close to half of what I've been come to is Artie. He's been on the council longer than the others. I'm not sure about Alan. I don't think he has. But let me just say that Tom Canning brought up an excellent point. Back in 2021, City Council approved the stormwater management plan
Yep.
All right. You all been kicking the can down the road for a long time. There's another expression I could like to say, being an old sailor, but I can't say it in public. He knows what I'm talking about. I think it's time for the city council to do something. Why don't you go ahead and assess a fee for all people that have water in the city of St. Mary's, so we can get rid of the storm water. I've been here long enough to know that every time we get a bad storm or a hurricane, downtown St. Mary's floods to at least 1.5 feet of water on the streets down there, and it gets into some businesses. And I'm amazed that the market on the square has survived long as it has from being flooded so many times with water in downtown. And one other point I'd like to make, if I have time, I don't think people need to be using social media to put down anybody on the city council, no matter who it is. If you got a grievance with the city council or the mayor, you need to come here and talk about it or email them directly so they can respond to it and then make sure you get the facts. Thank you.
I'm new to all this, so forgive me if I say something wrong. My name is David McNabb. I live at 1703 Point Peter Road. I'm here about H&I on the agenda. I just want to table this for 2 months.
Is there a reason? Is that your
Yeah.
property?
Yeah, it's my property. I own it. I own several properties in town.
Jamie, do you want to address that?
Good evening, council and mayor. Point of clarification, Mr. McNabb, you still want to split the parcel, right?
Yes.
So that's item, the final plat can proceed. Aye, thank you. I think Mr. McNabb is delaying the rezoning to R2.
Yeah, for right now.
I don't have a problem with it. My only concern would be if a delay in the rezoning leads to an automatic approval, which the attorney can answer.
No, the ordinances don't impose a deadline by which council has to make a decision.
Just
There are
commissioner.
deadlines, obviously, for the hearing and that process and the planning commission, but that's already been done, so I don't see an issue with it being tabled.
Okay.
So would you like for us to continue with the subdivision and just hold
We
off
can
on
go,
the
we can
rezoning?
split it, yeah, that's what I ultimately want to do, is hold on the, delay the rezoning for right now.
Okay, so you would like for us to not consent on item H
For the time being, yes.
and just to table that?
Yes.
And then it's okay to consent on item I for the minor subdivision?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Kevin John, 102 Saltgrass Trace, St. Mary's. Mr. Mayor, council members, staff. In regards to Mr. Moore's comment relative to the stormwater mitigation plan ordinance, I think that certainly it's a good idea to have one. However, in the process of reviewing it, I would want to make sure that the fees that are going to be charged, the land area that's going to be looked at, is going to be something that's going to be equitable across the board for all residents in the city of St. Mary's. And no particular areas allowed to be excluded because of a special process that they may or may not have in place. Please recognize that different areas in St. Mary's that have specialized retention areas for stormwater, as soon as people leave those particular areas, they are beneficiaries benefiting from St. Mary's stormwater management. They got roads that aren't flooded, parking lots that aren't flooded, and a lot of other areas that they use. So again, I think that it's a great plan, but I would recommend that careful consideration be given to ensuring that the charges are going to be equitable across all citizens, residents of St. Mary's. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any other comments? Okay, thank you. We'll close the public comment session, and it is now time to vote on the consent agenda. So just to recap, so we know exactly what we're voting on, we're voting to consent on old business items A and B. On new business, items C, D, E, F, G, I, K, and L. Is there a motion to approve this consent agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Nascimento, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ingram. Any discussion?
Yes. Do we need to do anything additional for tabling item H, or declaring it's tabled? Not included?
We can table that in the, when we approve the rest of the agenda.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Those unanimous?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, so now on to the approval of the agenda. So for the items for the agenda, there's a discussion in new business of items A, B, a tabling of item H, and discussion of item J. I have a motion to approve this agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rassi, second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Ingram. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I didn't get my head turned quick enough. No? Opposed or approved?
No.
Approved, okay. That's unanimous, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Got to hold them up long enough for me to look both ways, please. Trying here. Okay. So we will now begin with our new business, item A, the St. Mary's Commerce Park entrance sign. Mr. Horton, you going to present that for us, please?
We got two bids.
Good evening, Mayor and Council again. Before you have the plans for the entrance sign that is being proposed for the Commerce Park entrance. You have two bids in front of you. One is with Dalton Signs, and another one out of, and I apologize now because I'm going to say this wrong, Denyse, D-N-Y-S-E. Dalton's, I believe if you add it all up under all Dalton's, it's probably right around $90,000. And when you look at the other company, they're right around $80,000. There's a $10,000 difference between the two. The information that you see regarding solar powered in the brochure, that goes with the Dalton bid.
And
So our
I'm
request
not
is,
sure it made it into our council packet, Mr. Horton, but there was an email with feedback from Thomas and Hutton, who designed the entrance. I don't believe that made it into our packet, but everyone saw that email. Just kind of comments with about they kind of looked over, evaluated both proposals. Anybody else know what I'm talking about?
I don't know that
No.
you're talking about.
No, I don't.
Their reference.
So, because one of the things that I guess the difference is, if difference in uplighting, individual structure as the way it was designed, was only presented in the, I don't know, I'm with you, Denise, DENYSE proposal. And I think that was kind of the major thing, the difference also with the solar power versus the electrical for the two, was the other kind of two major things that I noticed, but
Who did the solar power?
Dalton was going to have a solar powered lighted, and it would just be kind of face lighting and not individual uplighting on the metal columns, as was it designed, but so we have those two proposals. Are we prepared to make a motion and vote to
So,
approve one of these two vendors?
This is funded through DASM.
No, ma'am, this is a part of the Commerce Park account.
This will come out of tab one.
Cost has already been allocated within the bond that was issued by DASM to.
Yes, that was the bond that we got from, I understand what you're asking now. Yes, ma'am. That was the bond that we got for the Commerce Park to put the roads and the water and sewer in there. And we have funds left over from the sale of the property, but that's where it's coming from. Yes, ma'am.
What would normally happen to those funds if they weren't spent?
They have to go back into that project on that. Those were allocated as a part of that bond.
I guess my concern is the entrance signs are lovely. I just am wondering if we could do something that's a little bit less expensive, but also looks nice. Have we gotten any other consideration for that? Or are there alternative
You saw
plans?
some of the alternatives that were proposed as a part of the original plan. Outside of what the plan is, that's where our limitations have been. Am I correct, James?
$5,000 difference. Need a motion?
Sure.
What was staff's recommendation between the two?
The one that's being proposed, you remember? Was it one or two?
We're talking landscaping?
You talking about the landscaping plan?
The signage.
The sign's the sign. It's the land.
Solar versus face lighting?
So there's going to be an additional charge? I'm sorry for the landscaping.
No, the landscaping is all one price. This is being done through the JDA.
Okay.
And the solar is because a lot, I mean, in my understanding of solar, it's not as bright as wired in. Is there a difference?
Well, the other one has got the underneath lighting in it, also has, and when you look at the NINSI or whatever it is, when they talk about the description, it also has up lighting and down lighting on the sign.
On which one, Dalton or the?
Denise. Denise
what-
signs had the
Yes.
uplighting on the individual posts, kind of like you see in 1.3 picture there.
And it's not solar.
And
104-inch beams, custom vaults,
the issue obviously with the
finished
solar panels
with
there was
uplifting
the panel.
incorporated in the fabric base and in the top of the sign.
As far as what that does to the overall design. It's got to place it there. And just to the overall kind of design of the process, that, this process started back when I was still on the Joint Development Authority. I know we went through a number of iterations. There was a low, medium, high, a lot of the discussion that was around that was trying to find something that was pleasant looking, but not overly gaudy looking. Well, not overly maintenance intensive down the road, not to put in types of plantings and things that would require a lot of long-term, or costly maintenance, and this was kind of a middle-of-the-road proposal that was kind of pushed forward by the Joint Development Authority in their work with Thomas and Hutton in this design, so.
The business in Douglasville, I think that's what we talked about. That's where one of the bids came from. Are they going to be able to do the upkeep on it and everything that it's going to take on a yearly basis or every 3 years or whatever? And are they going to have to come from west of Atlanta? Or because we got somebody here local that's giving us a bid as well.
Right.
I agree.
It's, they would have to be the ones to call them. I would assume that there would be, I would assume there would be a delay.
In South Georgia?
That I don't know, sir. This was all orchestrated through JDA, getting the bids and getting the proposals.
And as far as both signs, are they pretty much the same?
The actual signs are pretty much the same, yes, sir.
Right.
So the lighting is the biggest thing. If I'm understanding correctly, it's a difference of 5,000, right?
No, sir, it's almost 10.
74 and 79, did I look at it?
No,
What was
No, sir,
Denise?
you've got to add up all the, when you go to the second page of Dalton's, he's also got $16,000 for solar. Okay, he's got two options, my apologies.
We got 79.
I stand
Someone for
corrected.
79 on my paper, 79,88641.
Right, that's on the, well,
Dalton's is 96.
And that still has the lighting up and down and wired instead of solar or whatever on Denise, the difference
Okay.
was they don't use solar and it has up and
Right.
down lighting, correct?
yes,
And then with Dalton, they use solar only from the bottom.
That's my
looks like that's the
understanding,
only
yes, sir.
difference
Not
in
from the
price.
bottom, just kind of projecting onto the face of the sign. There won't be individual uplighting on the vertical pieces or whatever.
yeah.
It would
And
just
my
be-
apologies, there are two options on the solar lighting.
Okay, because if there's a difference in 5,000 and we don't have to find a solar panel place to put it, I would think that's money well spent. If you're spending that much on a sign to go with the one that's non-solar and you don't have to put a panel anywhere and you have individual lighting on each versus just facing the sign. But I didn't see that one, unless I'm looking at the wrong page.
And
that you said was-
just to be clarity, when you look at the Dalton, he's got two solar options there. He's got a 600 watt and he's also got a 400 watt. So the less expensive would be the 400 watt, which was $13,348.
How much?
And you add that to the cost of the actual structure, $60,000,
Plus the $200 sign permit.
right, plus the $200 sign permit.
Robbie, do we know the cost of the utilities for keeping this lighted
ma'am.
all the time if we don't do solar?
No, ma'am,
No estimate on that?
no, ma'am.
And I also think that there's a question about shopping locally,
Me too.
or
Yeah, I
having
agree.
local vendors, because we can always reach out and touch those where
Dalton does a lot of good work in the county, and when we need them at the high school for something, they're there.
Would he be able to give us a bid on non-solar? Dalton?
I mean, I guess that was one of my main concerns is we don't have anything showing where they intend to try to put that panel. This is a sign that is in the middle of the road. You'll be driving on either side. I know that they have a new sign out at exit 3 where the panel is behind the sign.
That's why it was put in.
When it
Different-
doesn't have
different
to be in the
scenario
same
here,
place.
Much be more visible. So I don't know, whether we want to table this so we can go out, look and get more information, or if y'all are ready to.
I'm ready to vote.
I think we should table it.
Well,
I
I'd just
think we
like to
should
see what
table
a
it.
non-solar option would be.
I'd like to make a
If you want to
motion
go local.
that we table this and get some additional information. We'll get some questions together for Mr. Horton and have this come up at the next meeting.
Second. Yes. So second by Ms. Bingham. Is there any other discussion? Any discussion about the motion? All those in favor to table the motion till the next meeting?
2 weeks.
Aye.
2 weeks. And it was opposed? Okay. Ms. Jones is opposed?
Yes.
So 5-1 with Mr. Jones opposed. Okay. Move on to item J, the Mission Trace Culvert Replacement Contract, I'm sorry. Before we do that, also in this packet, we have the proposal from Coastal Greenery which would be the actual plantings and the landscaping. Coastal Greenery is already doing landscape maintenance in the Commerce Park, but this is for the installation of the actual landscaping, plants, trees, flowers, those types of things. You'll find that behind the section with the solar information. And we only have the one bid. We know why we only have one bid, or is that was just the only bid given? Okay.
We had 2 bids.
Only one for the actual installation of the plantings.
Yeah, for the
The other
plants,
was
we only
talking about
have
the
the
sign
one
and the
bid.
lighting.
Yes.
So are we prepared to make a motion on that?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor Lockhart, I just had a question for the attorney, because you've actually tabled this item and you've already voted to table.
It's all part of
Yeah.
the packet, so, okay, so we need to just table this as well then,
I would
since
advise
it's,
that. As I understood it, all of item A got tabled, so I would advise
Okay.
not taking any action right now.
okay. We'll bring that back up and then we can check on second bid in the meantime as well, so. Okay. So that takes us to the item J, the Mission Trace Culvert Replacement. Huh? B.
Yes, sir.
Revised, yes, ma'am, sorry, missed that. So that's the approval of the revised easement agreement with Radiant. Robbie, were you gonna, do we need anything there, or do we just,
Mr. Mayor,
yes, sir?
so these easement agreements are essentially identical to what was previously approved by council.
Yes.
I think 2 months ago.
Yes.
Thereabouts. But after they were previously approved, there were further discussions with ETM, the engineering consultant, and it turned out that the legal descriptions of the easement areas were a little off from what we actually needed. And so they had to go back and get revised legal descriptions that are the exhibits to these agreements. Because the legal descriptions were changed, I recommended that we bring it back to council to make sure that the final version gets formally approved.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ingram, second by Ms. King. Ms. King? Yeah. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So that's unanimous, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
Now, if I'm not incorrect, item J. All right, Mr. Smith, thank you.
Yes, sir. What are your questions?
So we have three, go ahead.
My concern was that, we have one very conservative bid. And I always believe in, try to go with the low bid. But I just wanted to be understood by the contractor that we will not accept any change orders or anything down the line. If he find out that he missed something, it's gonna be his responsibility to pay for it. A lot of people bid low and
Then they try to slide it in.
Right.
that's the only discussion that I want.
Mr. Smith, could you,
This is the contractor who, recently did our work out at St. Mary's Commerce Park. There, I don't believe, I'm not aware of any change orders that resulted through that process, so, and I know it does say all work as described in the scope of the work is shown in the drawings, but point well taken that we don't want a bunch of change orders and pumping the price up. But feel fairly confident that
Rowell Construction is, we've worked with them before, and they're very good. And Jeremy does a good job with his quoting.
Could you just tell us where the 3 culverts are located? I may have missed that in the package, but I didn't see it.
All right, off the top of my head, I don't have the exact locations on Mission Trace, but they're going, where we're looking to pave with LeMig 25. They're up on that section of Mission Trace Road. They're culverts underneath the road, and we want them replaced before we try to pave and then go back and cut the road up to replace them later.
So that includes the culvert by Mr. Carroll's house, the end closest to Coleraine.
yes.
No, I thought it was in the north side.
I'm pretty sure it's the north side on that.
We're doing the south side first, so it's the south side first. What the LeMig 25 is doing that north part, so it's going to be, isn't that right?
Yes, the south side is.
South side would be by Coleraine.
The south side is being done first.
Right.
The LeMig that's coming out for 25 that goes to bid in June, that's the north side. That's what these culverts are on the north side.
Yeah, I just don't know exactly where Mr. Carroll is. I think he's on the
He's
south
the
side.
first culvert from Coleraine Road, which would be the south side. So is this work being done on it's all being done on the north side?
Should be on the north side.
Because I got a message from him today saying that someone from Public Works had been out to his place and he talked to them and they told him that we were doing the work on his culvert. So.
We as in the city or we as?
In the city, yes. So I just, I'd like to know for sure, where this work is being done. I don't know that it's going to change the bid, but I didn't see a location in the bid.
I'll be able to send you that now.
We can get that to you.
I mean, I guess we're doing 3 culverts here, and the question then really that I think at the core of what Ms. Keene's asking is this all the culverts that need to be replaced to make sure that it's all done correctly and, it's all fixed? And
These are 3.
That since we're doing this before we pave, because we don't want to have to go back and fix, that the other follows the same logic and rationale.
These 3 particular culverts are beyond the scope of what our staff can replace. Okay. That's why we're trying to contract it out. I'm pretty sure, and I'll have to verify, but I think our staff can do the culvert by Mr. Carroll's house.
Maybe that's what he's talking about.
And that will be done before Seaboard does the paving by the end of July.
Okay.
So we'll have 3 culverts done by outside firm. The rest of the culverts will be replaced, but all culverts.
How many?
All culverts will be fixed and replaced before we pay.
That is the intent.
So when will Public Works do the work on the culvert that they can fix?
I'll have to get back to you.
Can you, could we talk about that at the next council meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Just get that information together. Okay, thank you.
Thank you for answering my, my next question. I was gonna ask, was these 3 culverts, were they out of the scope of our employees to replace? And you said that we couldn't do it with our staff?
Yes, sir.
So just to confirm, these are all the culverts on Mission Trace, right? So we have 4 that need to be repaired. This bid is for the 3 on the north end, and then our staff is only going to do 1.
That is my understanding.
Okay. And you'll confirm that at the next meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. You need a motion?
Yeah, we have a motion to proceed.
So I'd like to make a motion to go with Rowell Contracting Incorporated for the amount of $80,800 for the Mission Trace culvert replacement.
A second.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. That's unanimous, Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
We'll get Chris to put together a map, a GIS map for you, exactly where each of those culverts are.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And that is all of the business on old and new business. So, Madam Clerk, that makes us ready for our calendar.
Yes, sir. On Wednesday, May 7th, at 5:00 PM, we have the Development Authority St. Mary's meeting in Main Street. On Thursday, May 8th, at 9 a.m., we have the 9:30 a.m., Orange Hall Management Committee meeting in the Main Street office, followed by an 11:00 a.m. invitation to bid for LeMig and council chambers, followed by a 2:00 p.m. invitation to bid for generators for continual critical services and council chambers, a 2:15 installation to bid for the mowing contract, and a 5:00 p.m. St. Mary's Intercoastal Gateway meeting in the Main Street office. On Friday, May 9th, at 9 a.m., we have St. Mary's Municipal Court and here in council chambers. And on Monday, May 12th at 8:30 a.m. in Main Street, we have the Downtown Development Authority meeting. And at 5:30 p.m., also on May 12th, here in council chambers, will be the council fiscal year 2026 budget work session.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Council member comments.
I'd like to just thank Ms. Jamie Stein. I did get a chance to talk to 3 builders in person and in email, and I haven't heard any negative feedback, and I know you did a ton of work on that. I just wanted to thank you so much for that subdivision, the revision that you did, and she put a lot of effort into that. So I know we just consented and move on, but I wanted to personally thank you for that. And then also the 2 other points is the stormwater fee. I know that keeps coming up, and it didn't come up a lot in budget. Maybe it's possible even starting with a lower fee. I know that churches and commercial get affected more so, and that's really the big pushback. So maybe just to even get the ball rolling, maybe we start with a lower fee. Just kind of would ask staff that maybe we start thinking of that. Maybe we can go over that in the work session. And then the culverts in Crooked River, I agree with Mr. Rob Moore. I think that just cleaning out ditches, no matter how many people we have and no matter what equipment we have, are just creating swimming pools in people's yard. And I've been in talks with Attorney Blackerby, and as Mayor already pointed out, we're going to have a work session for that. So just citizens just to know that it's not as simple as, just have the city repair it, and it's not as simple as, just do code enforcement, so that it's a little bit more technical for that. So we're trying to find out the best possible way to go about it so we don't make a mess out of it. So just after that work session, we'll be able to have better answers for you, but we're not dodging questions when you guys keep bringing that up. I mean, last week I had like 2 pages of notes. Today I had, a full page of notes. So we are listening when you guys bring these comments up. Just know that we're hearing you, that maybe some things might take a little longer than we'd like even.
Ms. Jones?
Mayor, I got a text from Ms. Shirley Sessoms. She said, unfortunately, I can't make city council meeting, and she had to take care of somebody sick. And she said to thank the mayor for cleaning up the flower bed at the sign.
I wish I could take credit for that,
I
Mr.
don't
Jones.
know. I don't know.
I didn't personally do it, but
Okay, well,
I think it might have been the garden club.
I saw a citizen, if you don't mind me commenting on it during your time. I saw a citizen. It was a woman with her golf cart, and she pulled up. Was it you?
My sister Barbara.
Her sister Barbara was
Thank
taking
you.
credit
Okay.
for that. I watched her go out there, and I drove by.
She's giving you credit.
Tell her we all said thank you.
I'm working on the one at the end of Wheeler Street. But I didn't do that one.
And she said, also ask who mowed the grass around the fountain, because the area where the bench at the Matilda Harris sign is not mowed.
Okay.
So,
That is city right away, so we should be able to handle that area there, so.
and I wanted to comment on a question that Mr. Moore asked about the ditch where the tree was. I brought this up several times. I went down and gave the city the address and everything also, and this has been going on for a couple of years. My thing is, and I didn't know Mr. Gamble was going to be bringing this up, but evidently he must have seen it. The tree is loaded with figs now, so let's wait until fig season over before we decide to clean it up.
So we're gonna table that until fig season's over. I actually had noted, similar to Jeremy, to just comment on Ms. Stein doing a good job doing that redraft. Did a good job of listening to some of our local developers to where we're able to come up with something reasonable that's going to let us have the St. Mary's that we want, and also was respectful to our local builders. So good job, and thank you, Ms. Stein. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had, actually. I'm good.
Anyone else?
I got one or two things. One, I want to thank the citizens for reaching out to me with the death of my mom, and it's kind of tough for my family, and I just appreciate your prayers. And I got some cards from somebody even today that's in the chambers. Thank Chris. Thanks, Chris. And it's hard, and the 4th of July festival's pressing on, working on the permits for the fireworks on 4th of July, and so we're excited about that, and we're going to have a barbecue on July 3rd, if anybody wants to volunteer and help.
I'd like to say that I agree with Jeremy on the stormwater issues, and I'd like to ask management if they would schedule us a work session to get started on that.
So, I say, Mr. Horton and I actually, first part of last week, were in conversations about the stormwater drainage assessment. As noted, that kind of came 4 years ago, and I was inquiring as to, so what happened? Why did this not proceed? And apparently there were a lot of concerns at the time about the fee structure and how it affects certain properties. In particular, some business properties, businesses are allowed to build lot line to lot line in certain areas and those kinds of things, and have a lot of impervious spaces, and in some instances, the assessment fee was going to be more costly than their property taxes for those properties, and that was kind of my understanding for why it didn't really get enacted. And so, I was having some conversations about, as Jeremy said, let's do something to get started, perhaps, that's an area where we can look at some percentages, of, impervious area versus the total area or whatever, because we do not want to become, anti-business, especially with the talk about redevelopment and growth in the Midtown area to heap something else on there that, so we need to take a wise approach on that will allow us, and, like I say, I think definitely getting that information back out, and, we're up here to make tough decisions, and sometimes unfavorable or decisions that, people get extra fees on their bills. But we're also hearing a lot of folks complaining about drainage and stormwater issues, and this is one way to address that and pay for that, and utilize those funds, for additional crews and engineering and studies and things that need to be done to make sure the water's flowing like it is. So, we'll definitely get that work session together and get that information dusted off and back out to the current council and see if we can't make a decision to implement something.
I agree with you, the three of y'all 100%, because, and just to remind everybody, hurricane season is right around the corner.
Yep.
And I think it's going to be a pretty wild ride this year, and I hope that we're ready for it.
I'm gonna have a proclamation next meeting where we have no hurricanes. So,
That sounds good.
I also, just real quickly, wanted to thank Ms. Stein for her her and her departments, work this. I attended a couple of the sessions that, like I say, they were very inclusive of getting information from residents and staff and builders and developers, and trying to incorporate all that to give us, like I say, the vision of St. Mary's, that is, maintains our Tree City status was a very important part of that, and appreciate your diligent work and your patience with council. So, thank you. Got one other thing I wanted to talk about here. I did want to mention, because Mr. Seals, I think, brought it up about our solid waste fund being a couple $100,000 in the negative during the budget session. We discussed that. That was cleanup from Helene, the storm, a lot of the funds that were expended there, and we're anticipating a reimbursement from GEMA that will put that balance back into the positive. So it is one-time Helene expense. So it's not that the fund's not performing correctly, it was just that, and so that will at least rectify that one situation, sir. And I think that's the main things I wanted to, anything else, Mr. Horton?
Mr. Seals, you're getting your flag back. Or let me rephrase that, you're getting our flag back.
There you go.
Okay, and we'll get that palmetto trimmed as well.
Thank you, too.
If I have to go out there and do that with my own tree saw, so, okay.
Somebody will do it for
A
you.
motion to, Mr. Jones made that.
Second.
Second by Mr. Ingham. Any discussion about that? All those in favor?
Aye.
That's unanimous, Madam.
Jones and Ingram, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ingram and Jones.
The law firm.
How many games you going to this year?
Many as I can, Coach.
7-17.
About 3, probably.
You're talking about even the games where they don't play nobody?
I just need signatures.